Welcome to Throuple Talk, where we have candid conversations about what it is like to live as a throuple in a society designed for monogamy. Today, we are talking about what it is like to be out as a throuple in public. I am Shar, and here with me is Josh.
Hello.
And Liv.
Hi.
And it's very different in a lot of ways to go out as a party of three than as a party of two. And you hear people joke about not wanting to be the third wheel. Well, we are always that.
We're always the third wheel.
Yes. And some people don't really notice, and other people they can't keep their eyes off us. Like they're trying to do a mathematical equation. Like what?
Right.
Yes.
They're trying to figure out who is your partner.
Yeah.
Who's with who?
Who's
Yeah.
the other one?
Yeah,
Is that
what's
your
going on?
sister? What is
Yes.
like? I
Can
don't
they
understand.
hit on the other woman?
Exactly.
Is she
free
available?
game?
Yes.
Which is the single one?
Yes. Yeah. It's fun going into restaurants and like, how many in your party? Like, this is it. It's three. It's like you see the wheels turning in
Right.
my head. Like, where do I?
Are you waiting
Where do
for
I
one
sit
more?
them? Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
It's fun when we ask for the booth and then they're like, oh, okay.
Same thing in the hotels. That's been an ongoing thing. It's like
Yeah.
we reserve a room that has a king bed, and then we get there and they try to switch us to two queens when they see there's three of us. So you have to go back downstairs. Like, where's the king bed at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes. That's happened more than once.
Yeah. And I think that's probably it's something that people don't realize how often that would happen because nobody imagines that we would check into a hotel and sleep in the same bed. All of us.
Yeah.
yes,
That's
And-
something that for sure nobody just assumes we're going to sleep in the same bed.
yes.
Yeah, I think oftentimes they switch us when they see us checking in. They switch our reservation.
Right. Because they're like, oh, there must have been some mistake.
Yeah. You know that
to
room
fix
doesn't
this.
have a pull-out couch, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because when we make the reservations, we have to book as a party of two because otherwise it defaults to only show you the rooms with two queens. If you put there's
Oh, does it?
three adults. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's why when I'm checking in, they're like, okay, oh, you booked a king. I'm not even going to ask because that would be embarrassing to ask. Like, well, you booked a king, but clearly you need two beds.
Right.
here.
Exactly. Yeah, that was
But
frustrating.
it's even more embarrassing when we go back down. We're like, yeah, don't we booked what we wanted.
We know exactly what we booked. Thank you very much. You don't need to fix it.
Yeah.
It was the same. We were booking the cruises. It's like they do double room occupancy.
Right.
So there's three of us now. You have to book. You have to book and pay for two rooms, even if you only want three people to share one
Yeah.
room. It's very frustrating.
And you
is-
book two
yeah.
rooms, so you're paying for four people
Four
when
people.
you only
we want
actually
one
need
room.
one room. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's really messed up. I didn't know first. I was looking at a cruise like a while back, and I didn't know that was a thing. That it's only been in, what, 2 by 2, right?
Two
Yeah.
by two. They charge you for two.
And I was
people per
wondering
room, no
what
matter
the hell, because I remember searching for 3. It was for the 3 of us,
Yeah.
and I found nothing. There was like not an option, and
Yes.
I was very confused. I was like, "What's going on? There are no cruises for 3 people."
Yeah.
If any of our listeners know a workaround for this with the cruises,
Right? Yes.
please email us.
Yes.
Or if there's another throuple, we could
Share.
we could book together and
Yeah.
share the
There we
second
go.
one.
Split the difference. I like it.
Split the cost of that extra room nobody's going to use.
Yeah. Good idea.
Nice. Yes.
Okay, what other problems do we have when we go out?
I don't know about problems, but it's
Yeah,
just
not problems.
the looks and stuff. You know, like when
Yeah.
you're in Vegas, you get a day bed, and we're all sitting there on our little
Yeah.
day bed, and everybody's like just staring at us the whole time, like, all right, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Are they famous? Are they rich? What?
Not
Why is
yet,
that guy with
but
two women?
oh well. He must be rich,
Yeah.
or
Or
I don't
something.
know, something.
Yes.
I personally like it when we go out because I feel most people guess that we are all together. I don't know why. That's the impression that maybe it's our energy and how we behave.
Yeah.
And people know when we go to like shows or they act like it's normal. That is the 3 of us. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Is it? I haven't really paid attention out there. There's a lot of the third wheel type of thing where you go out with your boyfriend and you bring your sister kind of thing. So I don't know if it's a normal thing.
I know. I don't see it that much.
Right?
Or maybe I wasn't looking for it before.
No. Yeah, I don't notice it that often.
It was definitely something that stood out like after the first time. You mean the first time we went out?
Yeah. Yeah, that first time was fun. Like, we walk into the restaurant and ask for a booth, and we have like the waiter take a picture of us. Like the first one, we're just smiling, and then the next one, we both lean over and kiss Josh's cheek.
I remember that.
And that
like
young girl was like kind of flushed, like, okay, here's your camper bag. Have a great night.
She probably went around the corner and sanitized her hands of the filth.
No, and that's the funny thing is like people don't seem offended when they realize we're all together, but definitely like surprised. It's just not something that you see.
You're right.
Openly very often. Like,
okay. They're not offended. You're right.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable when we go out, all of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was that? Was that same night we were at the bar?
Yeah. Later on, we went to another place and we were sitting at a bar, and there was some empty seats next to us, and then there was a guy there. I think he was there by himself. I'm not sure though, but he kept glancing over at us all night, trying to figure out who was with who, and I know he had seen Josh and Liv kiss earlier in the night, and then I saw him like watching us, and then I leaned over and kissed Josh. as we were leaving, I like glanced over at him, and I made eye contact with him, and smiled, and he was like he was just grinning. Like I think it lit up his night to just see that.
You're the man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny.
For me, it's not about when we go out, but like the interactions that I have with people about our relationship. Usually, what I find is like it's not information that I offer if it doesn't come up. Like, oh yes, I have 2 partners. So I think like when people talk to me about my partner, they're confused, and because I have people that I talk to them about you, Shar, and people I talk about you, Josh, and I think they're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Who is she with?
Yeah, I know. I definitely don't push it out there. Like I don't put it in anybody's face, but every once in a while you keep talking to the same people. Like I talk to my chiropractor.
Yeah.
And I tell a story about this and tell a story about that, and then pretty soon they start asking like, wait a minute.
Did you say
You keep using different
girlfriend?
names. You say girlfriend. You say wife. It's like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend and a wife. There's like it's just silence. Like, oh, okay. They ask 0 questions. Like,
but their mind is like, oh my God, what is going on?
Exactly.
I need to know everything, but I don't want to ask because it would be unprofessional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. Heck, none of us are very at all in your face about it. Like not wanting to flaunt or make anybody feel uncomfortable, but also wanting to not hide our relationship either. Just wanting to act natural and like hoping that it'll be normalized, pretty soon. But yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, like the comments, your wife, girlfriend, husband, girlfriend, what?
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting when we first moved to Texas, and I had to get a new primary care doctor at the VA, and I get this new doctor, and he just flat out was like asking, like, do you have more sexual partners or something like that? It's like, no, just the same or whatever. And he's like, just the same 2.
It's the usual 2.
Yeah, and he's like, but he just like didn't phase him at all. He's like, that's not uncommon. He's like, you're not the only one. Like, he's like, ever since I think he made a comment something about since COVID, or it's like the polyamory being, on the rise or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did it become more of a thing since COVID?
He made it sound like it was. He said that it was like, you're not the only one. It's like I have several patients,
right?
In similar type situations. So.
That makes sense because people couldn't go out anymore, and if they wanted to hang out with other people, they had to have a pretty close group. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
It's changing.
Yeah.
Sin.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, you got faced with the mortality. They're starting to be more, look at himself a little harder in the mirror and like realizing what they wanted and being honest with themselves and who they were. And I think it kind of pushed things forward because like polyamory has been like, skyrocketed ever since COVID. So
yeah, another wonderful thing following COVID, that and ordering everything online.
And not
I like
having
it.
to meet with your doctor anymore, just talk to him over the video.
I love it.
Yes.
The benefits of COVID.
The few
benefits of COVID, because then there's so many. Yeah.
Not having to tell your doctor face to face that you have more than one partner.
Yeah.
You can say it over the phone. Even the people that don't live together, just people that are in a throuple or going out as a triad, whatever the dynamic, whether it's like the V or kind of what we have, there's still a lot of people that have the issues that we do. I mean, even stuff like gym memberships and Costco memberships and AAA memberships. It's designed only for two adults. And then you can have dependents that are under 25. So some of these places have little loopholes. Like thankfully our gym has a loophole where Liv could be added to our plan as a caregiver, but it's still not like you can't be an additional partner, or it's just all these little things that kind of still stand in your way when you're actually trying to be a family and living in the same home and having that kind of that autonomy.
Right.
Is that the right word? I don't think so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I feel like you're right. Like things that we take for granted as a couple. Oh yeah, add your husband, add your wife to your membership, whatever, in your family plan. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I can't do that. Like you're the third.
Yeah.
Like there's things where there's certain plans, memberships, subscriptions that do allow, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 adults. But most of the big important things, they don't allow that.
You're right. But I have found recently, like, I was able to add you to the car insurance through the bank. And
but how did you add me to the car insurance? You had to call them because when you added me, they removed Shar.
No,
Wasn't it?
I was trying to put 2 spouses down, and they wouldn't let me do that. So when I called to talk to them, they put you down as the domestic partner. That was like the loophole.
Okay, so it was, that's
But
nice.
that was the same thing. I forgot. I should have said that too when we were talking about when I was setting up with the new primary care. Once I told him I was in a relationship with 2 people, he said, that's not as uncommon, as you would think. And he told me, you can actually add both of them to the VA medicals, and I was like, really? You told me how to do it, and I did. I was able to get in there, add you as a domestic partner, so you'd have access to, if something happens to be, you can set everything up. So
surprising.
It was surprising. I was like, out of all the people that you expect to be back, in the backwoods, the U.S. government is.
I know.
stepped in.
Yeah, it's kind of
The
nice.
VA
not
out of all
everywhere.
places.
The VA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any other U.S. government branch will recognize a spouse and the domestic partner at the same time.
Yet.
Yes. Let's change that.
Yeah, once we get everybody to start coming out, being more open about their relationship status in public, just like this episode is about.
Public.
Going out in public.
We need to go out.
Demanding a king-size bed and 3 people in your cabin on the ship.
I would like to mention, Josh, that you are very courageous in talking about both of us when you talk to people. You are more open than probably I would be, just because I'm just very private. I don't want to give people information about my life. But when you talk to your friends or your old buddies from the Marines or anything like that, you are very open. Yeah, I have a wife. I have a girlfriend. We all live together, and I don't know why you do it and how you do it and why it's so natural to you.
I don't feel like it's anything to be ashamed of. It's like, for me, it's very natural, and I want maybe legitimacy. Like, it should be just the same as everybody else. Like,
right.
So I'm very open. I feel like I shouldn't share any differently than I would if I was just in a regular monogamous relationship. So I just share everything that's going on in my life, and I don't do it any differently than anybody else would. And I don't also throw it in anybody's face and like,
you don't throw it.
My life is better than yours.
Exactly. You don't do that, but you share so nonchalant and so natural that I look at you and I'm like, I wish I would be like that, because there's been times when I had the conversation with somebody would go that way, and I felt myself like, oh my God, what am I going to say now? Am I going to say my girlfriend, my boyfriend? Oh, what am I going to do? And I panicked and I went for you first because it was easier. It was the easier way out, right? Straight, go for the straight thing, right? Like, I have a boyfriend. I don't have to give explanations to anybody. And other than that, at the gym, people think I'm in a relationship with Shar because we're always there together. Yeah. So when I introduced her, when it happened that I had to introduce her, I introduced her as my life partner, and we're together. But they don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
So it's just like how the situation, happens, and I pick and choose, and I don't throw it in anybody's face. But it has happened. And I don't remember when that I had the opportunity of talking about both of you, and I didn't because I panicked. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I am not as natural at it as you are.
I know, I'm not either. And and it's not something where I'm ashamed at all, but I think it's more of I'm I guess I'm just non-confrontational, and I don't want to make the other person feel weird, and I don't want to be like stuck in like some weird, awkward conversation. Especially if I think I'm gonna see this person ever again, like at the gym, like you're gonna see each other every day in the locker room.
Yep.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's easier. Like guys don't talk about their girlfriends unless it's a romantic partner, but girls talk about girlfriends all the time. So like I can say, oh, my husband, or oh, my girlfriend. But if I say, oh, my life partner, she, and I've talked about my husband, that's when people
like, wait, what?
Start looking.
What did you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you just say to me?
All right, I will tell you this one story. So there's this hotel that I love to stay at in Newport Beach, and it was right there on the water, and it had like fresh baked cookies and the richest stuff, so you can go out to the beach, and there's bicycles and surfboards and all this stuff.
So nice.
But so I took a girlfriend there. One of the first times I ever went. I think it was one of the first times. I'd stayed there before by myself. So I took her there. And you check in, and he asks you all kinds of questions. There's this guy that works there. He runs the whole thing. He's an older hippie guy with a Hawaiian shirt and older surfer type guy. He's like long blonde hair and balding. He's like the nicest guy. I won't say his name, but it's a very unique name that you don't forget. And so I went to this hotel for like so many times, like every couple months or something for a couple of years. And so I went there with this girlfriend, and the next time, like next month or something, I take Shar. And he's like, he recognized me right away because we had conversations. He stayed there for a while. He's like, and all of a sudden he's looking at her like, you home-wrecking hussy. Yeah. I have met his wife. She's just this nicest gal. And now this blue-haired tramp is in here, and like he won't even look her in the eye. He's like,
yeah.
And they say,
I felt like he just despised me.
Yeah. God. So and then he would send these like handwritten cards that you got when you got home, like asking how your stay was. Hope you enjoyed everything. Don't forget we have fresh baked cookies every day. All the stuff to get you to come back. And I'd go back there like a month or two later, back with the girlfriend again. And he's like, I felt like if I had ever left the room with her alone for a second, he would have snuck her out and like, oh, he's cheating on you with this blue-haired slut.
Oh my God. Like, you look like you seem like a nice girl.
Yeah, I just like to help you. I can't believe this man would do this to you. It's like, it wasn't long after that, it's like I meet Liv, and then I take Liv there on a trip, and then it's like, oh, you have a type. Slut is your type.
That time I had the same hair as Shar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one night we were staying there several nights, and one night we go out to dinner or something. We have some margaritas on the beach and drinks and oysters and all this stuff. And we come back, and I was feeling pretty good, and I thought I'd play a little practical joke. Liv walks into the lobby. I hold the door open for her, and I didn't walk in with her, and I just yelled, slut! No, whore, right? I think I yelled, whore! Whore! You could hear a pin drop in that place.
I had to walk in front of him quietly. And then mortified. Because I knew he heard it. How can you not? There was nobody in that lobby, and he just screamed.
I remember hearing this story later from you guys. I'm like, I can't believe you stuck around after that.
She liked it.
It was all for number 10.
Oh, what's number 10? What are you talking about?
I shall not divulge.
Is that right?
You snorted.
Oh, no, you should snort.
No.
You did. Who did?
One of you.
He did.
He did. It's gross. We stick together, see?
Horse.
You like it. Shut up, you like it.
Oh.
Well, I think that's probably enough out of this episode. What are we talking about next week?
I think we were going to...
Sleeping arrangements.
Yeah.
Oh, sleeping arrangements.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun one.
That'll be a good one. Well, join us next week when we talk about where we sleep.
How we arrange our sleeping.
Where we're going to sleep at. It's not what you think.
Or maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it's what you imagine.
Yeah. Tune in to find out.
You always wanted
yes.
to know.
All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.